Picture this. You're in high school, somewhere in the early to mid 2010s. You have a variety of strange interests, mostly related to science fiction, including this newfangled flavor called speculative biology. You may have an affinity for some of the broader works, but doing a little digging, you find this one weird PDF on a site nobody visits where you happen to be potholed from some unrelated site like the Creepypasta Wiki. It details the progress of humanity with a million-year narrative and strange sketches with daguerreotype filter, eerie and malformed, but still recognizable as human. Most of it makes no sense, but you read it and it leaves an odd impression on you. You resonate with the message and use it as sort of an inside joke, but you only revisit occasionally. Then, out of nowhere, years later, it spawns a following. You see fan art and memes on your Twitter timeline and check YouTube. What you once believed was this niche, inaccessible topic has exploded overnight, and you could not be happier to see new people come into your little world. What I have just described is my experience, and perhaps that of several others, with C.M. Kozeman's All Tomorrows. Mr. Kozeman is a concept artist, researcher, and writer from Istanbul, Turkey. He wrote and distributed the PDF for the story at the age of 26 under the nom de plume Nemo Ramjet, before making a name for himself in the paleo art community with the book All Yesterdays in 2012. But if you were part of that community, or the Spec Evo community, you knew who he was. But his work did not hit the mainstream until the summer of 2021. Now you can see All Tomorrow's fan art, memes, videos, and dramatic readings by the boatload every week. To find out why an odd piece of juvenilia blew up a decade and a half after its publication, there needs to be discussion of the work and its themes. In the story, humanity unites to colonize Mars, but the Martians grow discontent from their leaders and start a rebellion. After countless casualties, Earth and Mars reunite and experimentally breed a new race called the Star People to colonize the galaxy. They soon encounter an alien race known as the Q. No, not that Q, but you're close. Who use genetic modification to warp humans into twisted, grotesque forms and beliefs of them as supreme beings. Upon their departure, 10 post-human races regain sentience and make new contact, forming another empire. However, a race called the Ruin Haunters develops technological singularity before their society can make peace. They create the Gravitals, human-robot hybrids who wipe out all of humanity save a few specimens. The Gravitals themselves fall to a post-human race called the Asteromorphs, who escape the Q and achieve near godlike status by living out in space. The Asteromorphs create a new empire and rediscover Earth, but the big twist of the story is they too became extinct for unknown reasons. The author is just piecing the puzzle together. The book ends on a surprisingly hopeful message: to live in the moment and enjoy all aspects of life, because the end is not as important as the moment-to-moment activities on the journey there. As the last line puts it, love today and seize all tomorrows. The book services as an allegory of the human spirit and all its strengths and flaws while it ascends to divine status. Humans are separated, warped, distorted beyond belief, but still possess qualities incontrovertibly human. Ambition, cooperation, curiosity, debauchery, inquisitiveness, the ability to harness the environment is all on display here. From the learned, resourceful nature of the tool breeders to the not-so-subtle fascist analog in the Gravitals, all of humankind can be illustrated in about 100 short pages. In the end, it is the Asteromorphs who stand supreme, as symbols of what humanity could be, and where it may continue as it goes into space. Even after humans die out, their story is still being told, and their values spread across the heavens. Although it is about the eventual destruction of humanity, the tone of the book is not nihilistic. Rather, it comments proudly on the bold legacy humanity leaves after it is gone. The story adds hope and joy to its twisted telling. This, I believe, is the strength of All Tomorrows. It brings hope when all feels hopeless. The post-humans are ugly and deformed, but they may as well be your own grandchildren, so you have to love them. Each one embodies a trait of humanity and a microcosm of the continued state of being human. With so many post-human types, you're bound to relate to one. Finding the light in the swirl of darkness we call life seems to be the ethos of the book's in-universe author. No wonder it found a connection with so many minds. So, how did it take so long to get this popular? In 2021, the channel Alt-Shift-X published a video on All Tomorrows, in what amounted to an abridged but still succinct and comprehensive retelling of the tale. A channel known for its lore breakdowns of deep lore-heavy shows like Game of Thrones and The Expanse seemed to break character with this one. Even though the book was free, you had to go out of your way to find it. This was not something everyone could post. But now a 1 million subscriber channel was singing C.M. Kozman's praises through the land. On June 21st of that year, a YouTuber named Dak Dumb Guy recreated the creatures in the video game Spore. And that in particular seemed to catch the fandom by fire. Twitter blew up with fan art right after. What had once been a niche hidden pamphlet was now open to an organized fandom, sparking creativity on levels unimaginable. The novelty of All Tomorrows played into its success. Speculative biology is still a recent subgenre within the broader scope of science fiction. The first author to tackle it in a serious manner was OLAF Stapledon in 1936's Last and First Men. This was a similar tale of human evolution and ascent into space. Kozman, however, expanded the themes by explaining all the histories of post-human races, clever and creative world-building exercises, and cutting back on the implicit racism in Stapledon's work. While aiming to be more spiritual than scientific, the presentations and designs of the new humans struck a chord with the creative force in the fandom. The works of Dougal Dixon and Wayne Barlow were the last time this topic hit the mainstream, coincidentally near the time All Tomorrows was first written. So the enthusiasts and the diehards within the community got their fix with All Tomorrow's renaissance in popularity. There is no gatekeeping here, as many speculative biology fans are just happy to be getting attention at all. After an absence of many works in their community gaining this much attention, for them, the fandom wave is a godsend. All Tomorrows combines the serious, disturbing sci-fi with farce and even flat-out satire at points. When you go from people being turned into sentient bricks for rebellion to spacemen who can fly around due to powerful farts, the book is not trying to be taken 100% seriously. As such, much of the fan art opts for humor and irony. There are song compilations which use more humorous themes for the species and countless memes involving stereotyped versions of the post-humans. Everyone can imagine themselves as a snake person or a satyriac, taking their love of life and fun to an extreme. All the most basic and unique of human attributes are on display, and the fandom has seized them. There's a little something for everyone, even in a story as weird and distorted as this. Another factor helping All Tomorrows is its ease of access and lack of formal copyright. Since one can read the book for free and use its art for any purpose, this made it easy to remix, distribute, copy, and adapt without legal repercussions. The most popular storyline comes from Shivatherium, a Russian website made for hosting speculative evolution projects. While it was once hard to come across by chance, the distribution by Alt-Shift-X has made the link well known, and the thriving subreddit r All Tomorrows has a link on their front page, so now anyone can read it and they need not look far. Kozman himself seems a bit more mixed towards All Tomorrows, calling it a little cringy, and even leaving off his notable works on his website. Indeed, many parts have not aged well. The tonal shift between silly and serious can feel jarring. The art seems amateurish by Kozman's new standards, and many of the grammatical errors make it clear English was not his first language. Still, even a flawed gesture can connect, and this book proves as much. The book may be a tough sell and almost as hard to read, but those who connect with its themes can forgive the flaws. If there is a spark, an inspiration hidden within, the book connects. While Kozman did move on to bigger, better projects, nobody forgot where it all began. Kozman has even played along with fans, leaving flattering, semi-humorous comments on fan pages. It always does a fandom well, and its creator is in on the joke. All Tomorrows embodies the human condition in a unique, disturbing, but still relatable way. There is no other book like it, and perhaps it is this abstraction which draws people in. A focus on lore and metaphor over linear storytelling provides a novel narrative method which could be used for future tales. Given how the internet has already altered the human experience, allowing for new connections and new ideas, perhaps this was the best time for All Tomorrows to become a cult sensation. In an ever-changing, uncertain world, perhaps we can face this uncertainty with a laugh, taking something bizarre and making it feel warm and welcoming. With all the outlets and hidden depths in Kozaman's tale, it sparked the creativity and the human spirit. In many ways, the fandom's attachment to the story is the best exercise of the human condition as described in the text, as the book's message delivers. Love today, and seize all tomorrow.